Hello, and welcome back to Tyranny. Little funsies womp. We just talked to Tunon the Adjudicator, and he basically said, you sided with the rebels, hey. I hope you know what you're doing. Oh, this guy. Welcome back, kid. Assuming, as it would, words. Amusing as it would to have been, as amusing as it would have, okay. As amusing as this is a terrible start. Horrible start. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Bleeden Mark, Archon of Shadows, rouses from a faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to sift in and out of the shadows that surround him. But to draw blood from your allies. The Archon flashes his teeth, flat and pearly white, a sharp contrast from the shadowed depth of his face. He folds his arms across his chest, his hands resting against the bandolier of blades that span his waist. I delivered the edict. The Archons refused to work together. I did what I had to do. What has me curious is your use of the Tearsmen, the Oathbreakers of all people. You're content to cut down your allies, yet spare your enemy. Some would consider it an unusual choice. You're mistaken to call them enemies. The Oathbreaker follow me now. View them more as extensions of the court. That's the cute thing about you Fatebinders. Tunon teaches you enough about the law for you to bugger it in the backside, all while thinking you're so clever. Before you go and conspire with the locals too much, you and I need to have a chat. I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you've done something nobody else has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? I'm the first Fatebinder to awaken a spire of the old walls? You're not wrong. That was definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you've made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new. Neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict, but you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict on the very same, well, it wasn't the same day, and it didn't kill you. And in one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and awoke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. And now I'm on your short list of those who are enemies. More or less. Mostly more. He offers you a dangerous grin. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. If you want to drum up more support from the Tearsmen, being the binder that broke the Overlord's edict is a good opener for diplomacy. Not saying trusting them is the best course of action, but it's a better strategy than watching Ash and Narot muck about without consequence. Until the next. The Archon of Shadows shrugs in farewell, but his golden eyes are alight with interest as he watches you. So, I believe I was told to head to directly to Lethian's Crossing. So I shall do that. A small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move wildly as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not. I've come through Ironhall Trail more times than I can remember. No one's ever asked for a toll before, and I will not be paying one now. He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder, surely you of all people can help me. My name is Aster, and I must get to Lethian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll to him or anyone, and that he has to let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I'm sorry you have to be drawn into this. What you've stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I'm Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhall Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through here must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like passage through our land, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhall Trail a safe place for all travelers. Surely you can see the value in that. Aster speaks, his arm swinging wildly about again, emphasizing his words. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You, standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? He drops his arms as he turns to you again. I'm not but a traveling merchant. I have no money to spare, and I will certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. He points at Will. You are the only threat here. Fatebinder, please talk some sense into this man. Here's payment for the merchant to pass unharmed. Thank you, Fatebinder. You've done a great deal of good today. Aster bows dramatically. He turns back to the soldier. And you, brute, move aside and let me pass. Will makes an exaggerated flourish and moves out of Aster's way. But of course. He raises an enormous hammer and stops Aster, pressing it against his chest. Though, merchant, do be sure to have some rings of your own for the trip back. I doubt your friend here will be around to pay your way through these lands twice. He smiles, moves his hammer, and gestures for Aster to continue. Will then returns to his position and looks you over, his formal genial mood gone. So a Fatebinder is in our little corner of the world. Who'd ever thought this would happen? Pugh. He spits between his feet, then crushes it into the dirt with his boot. While I appreciate your help dealing with that merchant, I'm afraid I can't let you pass till you've spoken with our leader, Reto, whatever. Personally, I think he was crazy saying he'd be visiting the crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes his head. He shakes the pouch around his neck, making the rings jingle melodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out there. What can this humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? And don't ask me to let you through, 'cause that ain't happening. Someone made the mistake of giving this little man way too much power, and he's about to discover what happens when you stand in my way. Thanks, but I can handle this myself. If you don't feel like paying the toll, I can point you back the way you came. If you need an idea where to go because I can't let you through, I will speak with him. While you are talking to Will, a striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair approaches, moving away from some men searching bodies of slain soldiers to the south. He watches you intently as he closes, his angular features pushing to a look of disdain. And here is the Fatebinder. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. What brings you out here when no one asked you to come? Are Kairos' dogs ready to be put down again? I won't surrender the crossing no matter how many times you try to take it. We were hired to protect the city, and we will continue to do so. No one else will have it. He glances at his men, who have stopped to watch the conversation. With a start, they return to searching the bodies. Never mind, he waves a hand dismissively. I don't care why you're here. My name is a name that I refuse to pronounce. I am the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already knew that. I couldn't help but see you over here, talking to Will and that traveling merchant. Only here for a moment and already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, aren't you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, Fatebinder. I told him he had to speak to you, Ritzman. He wanted through, but I told him no. If you don't give me the signal, the Fatebinder isn't getting to the crossing. Nobody will invade your territory. Ray, I'm just calling him R. R stares at Will for a few moments, lips pursed, then continues as if Will never spoke. Watch yourself while you are a guest in my lands. If you have come to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped, and we will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. He sweeps his arm in front of him, gesturing to the surrounding countryside. Welby and I may not always agree, but that is one point we always see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. You are not welcome here. Now tell me what you want, or leave. Well, for starters, I'm gathering an army. Would you consider standing with others against Kairos? Absolutely not. I placed my trust in others before and only received the back of their hand in return. Payment or no, I do not appreciate providing a service and then being tossed aside. If they are not my brothers, they are not my friends. Why are you charging the toll? I don't see how our affairs are any of your business, Fatebinder. Suffice it to say, the funds we receive from our tolls help keep the land safe. We are owed our dues, and we shall have them. I need to get to the crossing. If I let you through, you must promise to behave. I have enough problems dealing with everyone else. I don't need the hassle of keeping an eye on you, too. So watch yourself. This is my city, and I have eyes everywhere. If you intend to stir up trouble, go somewhere else. I don't need it here. Let the Fatebinder through. Do nothing to delay or cost this party, or you'll answer from me. Will gives him a quick salute. Very well. I suppose we shall speak again. I certainly hope that is not the case. You got ours permission to go, Fatebinder, so go.
On it.
This is going to be a shorter video just because time is not entirely on my side. But that's fine. Depending on how short it is, I might have another video release. Later this week. Probably, if this goes out on Thursday, I'll probably release it, or on Tuesday, I'll probably release this on Friday.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that.
I might have to cut this off even shorter.
curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this one short. This is gonna be a really short video. My apologies, but life does what life does. I will definitely have another video out this week. It's not gonna be Tyranny. More than likely it won't be, but I'll have another video out this week for you guys. Sorry for the short one, but life does what life wills. And unfortunately, some things have come up that I must take care of. So, I shall see you guys in the next one. As usual, if you like it, subscribe. If you have questions, comments, concerns, comment. If you wish to see other things like this, I do have a podcast I participate in, which is We Play RPGs. Again, I'll have the links to that in the description. Go watch it. If you want to support us, join the Patreon there. That really helps. That way we can actually pay our editor some money. She does really good work. We like her. So anyway, yeah, see ya.